Because you know I'd have asked you to do the dance.
Yeah, but everyone used to be like, oh, best coverage dance.
Best coverage dance. Well, maybe we'll see it one day.
No, it's like, yeah!
Hello. Today, I want to talk to you all about celebrating success and embracing failures. Now, this is something that we love doing here at Journey Further, and we've got a couple of different ways of doing it. We, of course, have the Friday News, which showcases everyone's fantastic achievements to the whole agency every single week. We have a Good Work Slack channel, which is blowing up every single day with people shouting out their colleagues who have been putting in some particularly excellent work. And on the complete flip side, we have Shit Work, the perfect platform for embracing those moments which don't quite go to plan. Recognising the wins and learning from the losses, that is what it's all about here at Journey Further. But how important is it to creating a happy, successful team? Let's find out.
I think it's super important because sometimes in agency life things can be pretty hectic and you kind of move in between projects a lot, you move in between often different verticals like industries and whatnot, and I think sometimes we cram so much into a day that you can easily forget all the good work that happens when you're working particularly hard. So sometimes taking that breath and that pause and that recognition that wow, we've actually covered a lot today, or this week, or this month.
You know you've done something really good, maybe your line manager knows that you've done something really good, but it's not just something that's shared between a small group of people, it's shared to the whole business, and that's quite nice. It feels really good.
You sometimes get just a random shout out, and it feels good to actually be acknowledged for what good work you've done, and also on the news when you get big ups and props, you just feel like your work means something.
Brings everyone together closer, I think, and obviously we just use Slack for a lot of that communication because some people are home and some people aren't, but it's just really different to how a lot of places do things, and to me that is very refreshing because I don't think everyone understands how important it is a lot of the time. In terms of the failure side of things, I've seen within the business that even if something doesn't go quite right, you're encouraged to kind of allow yourself to fail, because even if you do, we'll find a way to work things out. And I think that's really important, because if you don't encourage kind of that experimentation, what happens is you have this creative block and you stop having that autonomy of creativity, I think. So that's something that's a little bit different as well here, that's really good.
PR is probably one of the few marketing disciplines where no matter how hard you work, you could put 100% into that campaign. You don't necessarily get 100% back because it can be quite subjective, things can break in the news, and it can be heartbreaking. But ultimately it's just about learning from those mistakes and trying to unpick and understand why it didn't work, try and get some journalist feedback. We use a tool called BuzzStream as well, so we analyse the subject opening lines. So if a subject line isn't being opened very often, we can just switch it up and we can test and monitor. We actually have just implemented a new Slack channel called Outreach, and every Wednesday the team share insights. So it might be this headline got a 60% open rate, or this headline got a 20% open rate. By sharing lots of that insight on Slack and trying to keep a record of it, it means that we're sharing all that information and people are learning from each other's successes and also failures as well.
Scott, we are talking all about celebrating success and embracing failure. Now, internal recognition of great work is all well and good, but it's even better when it comes from a client. And I hear one of your accounts has done just that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had our QBR with Safe Style last week. We've been working with them for coming up to a year now. And we've got some fantastic results for them. We've got a really close working relationship. And for the QBR, they came with a bottle of champagne for each of the team members, which was very nice, because we work across all of the channels, because it's conversion and creative, SEO, PR, social and PPC. Having that sort of joint reward and getting to say we've all done this, we've all pulled these results together, we've all built this relationship with this client, it's really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the complete flip side, we've of course got those moments which don't quite go right. We've got our shit work Slack channel, perfect place for embracing those times. How important is it to take developments and learnings from those moments?
Well, it is a bit of a laugh, and you do get some funny stuff in there. Like you say, it is good just to acknowledge that you don't learn, you don't move forward if you don't appreciate and acknowledge those mistakes. It also lets more junior members of the team know that it's okay to try something new and to learn from it. And yeah, you might mess up, and yeah, there might be a mistake, but you're not gonna, no one's getting in trouble, no one's getting shouted at, or no one's getting fired. You know, it's, if you make a mistake, own up to it and say what you're gonna do next. How are you gonna stop that from happening in the future? It's only a positive.
If you start getting told off for making mistakes, you're just going to stop trying things. It's as simple as that, really. Whereas if you've just got people who just like keep going, encouragement, then that fear of failure disappears, and with it becomes a far more progressive and pioneering environment. There's definitely a lot of times where the most that I've ever learned is by making a mistake. Sharing that as well, kind of not hiding away from it, means that, okay, look, this is what's happened, this is what's gone wrong, here's how we fixed it. It means that if you're sharing it, if you're not worried about sharing it, you end up with those additional learnings.
And the last question, is this your motor?
It is.
What are we doing?
We're driving it back to another spot because it can only stay here for 2 hours.
And whereabouts on this road, lovely road, are you gonna park it?
In a completely different parking space that is legally distinct and different, and I will not return to this one for well over an hour, as is my legal obligation.